for sport. That's where I met Coach Sterner and was introduced to jiu-jitsu, fell in love with it, and decided that I wanted to work with as many BJJ athletes as possible. I earned my master's degree in exercise science from the University of Kansas, and then moved to San Diego to begin working and training with Atos Jiu-Jitsu. Working together with Coach Sterner and Electrum Performance, we worked with multiple team world title teams at Atos, as well as multiple world champions, including Professor Galvao, Lucas Hulk Barbosa, and Kainan Duarge.
We wanted the focus of this DVD to be on compound movements. These multi-joint movements give us the best bang for our buck. It allows us to be as efficient as possible in the weight room, which is really, really important if we also want to maximize our mat time. The other thing that we wanted was some customization for individuals using the program. So for every single movement pattern, we have a pro and regression, so we can be really confident that you find an exercise that suits your body at that particular time.
In order to continue to progress and adapt, we have to expose our body to increasingly greater and greater stimuli, challenging it to perform more work than it ever has before. This concept is known as progressive overload, and it is the single most important theory in strength training. Now, progressive overload can occur in a number of different ways. Whether we're performing more volume, the same amount of work in less time, there are so many different ways that we can expose our body to new challenges. This program focuses on two main types of progression: load progression, or increasing the weight that we're utilizing for our exercises. And for almost all of these movements, we focus on barbell and dumbbell movements so that it's very easy to track your weight, or bodyweight exercises where we're typically going to be performing more reps. We also have provided an exercise progression that allows more challenging exercises over time by movement pattern. So we're really providing 3 programs in one with multiple months of programming. Now, it's important to understand that exercise progressions are not magical for everyone. Where an exact variation falls on the progression-regression continuum may vary from person to person. So no single exercise is magical, and if there is a variation included in this program that does not fit your body or your available equipment, that's okay. You can skip it or repeat other exercises. Now, in terms of load progression, one of the most common questions that we receive from our clients is, how much weight should I be using? And that's a really tricky question to answer. Many classic strength training programs utilize a percentage of your 1 repetition max, but there are a number of problems with this approach. The first is that for many exercises, we don't know your 1RM, and we're not going to find out because it isn't applicable to your sport, and it fails to accommodate improvements in strength or days where you feel really, really good or really, really bad. On days where you're very tired from training, the weight that is prescribed by a percentage of your 1RM may be too heavy. On days where you got a full night's sleep and you feel great, it may be too light. We need a measure that is more flexible, that can accommodate daily changes in energy and readiness. And we prefer to utilize repetitions in reserve. It's a very simple measure that quantifies how close you are to failure. We don't need to train to total failure all the time, but the single biggest missing piece for most people in the weight room is that high effort level, because the repetitions that are closest to failure have the greatest impact on our body. If we perform a set of 20 repetitions, reps 19 and 20 have a far greater impact than reps 1 and 2. We use a very simple measure, or a rough estimate, that if we are somewhere from 0 to 3 repetitions in reserve, for example, performing a set of 8 repetitions with a weight where we could perform 10 if we absolutely had to, would mean a repetitions in reserve of 2. We have 2 reps left in the tank. Somewhere in that neighborhood of 0 to 3 is sufficiently challenging enough for our body to cause adaptation and to be considered a working set. If we have more than 3 or 4 repetitions in the tank, we would consider that a warm-up set or a ramp-up set, and we can always add weight. Hopefully this will really allow you to get the most out of your program and really start asking yourself that question: how many more reps could I have performed if I was going to failure? This is going to be the best way for you to be able to make progress in the weight room and improve your performance on the mats. Any warm-up has 3 main goals. The first is to increase your heart rate. The second is to increase your core body temperature. And the third is to prime our neuromuscular system to train and perform. Warm-ups do not have to be complicated, and they also don't have to be lengthy. Oftentimes 5 or 10 minutes is really all it takes, but they're hugely important for decreasing the risk of injury and improving performance. Many people in the weight room are guilty of just hopping right to the bar and putting heavy weight on immediately. But we would never perform that same type of concept on the mats. We would never just throw our gi on and hop right into live rolling. We like to use the example of a sprinter. You would never see a sprinter just hop right to the blocks and try to set a world record. We would start with a light jog, then a 50% effort fly-in, then 75% effort, then getting started in the blocks, and finally time to compete. And our warm-ups will serve that same type of purpose. Next, we're going to show a simple total body dynamic walking warm-up that will help prepare you to perform at your best. First is a quad pull to RDL reach, which is a great way to stretch the quad and hip flexor group on one leg while challenging core stability and glute and hamstring activation on the other side. So Coach Stern is going to grab his left leg, squeeze his left glute to help increase the stretch, and then he's going to reach and hinge through his right leg. Then we can go a couple steps, so anywhere where you have space is great, and then switch sides. Let's go ahead and rotate 90 degrees so you can see the movement from the other side. So you can see he's really trying to move as much as possible through the hip while getting a nice stretch. And roughly 10 repetitions per side will be great. Next is a sweeping hamstring stretch, which stretches the hamstrings while also moving the spine and shoulders through its full range of motion. So you can see that Coach Stern is going to put his left leg in front, just with the heel in contact, then reaching down to the toes and all the way up to his full standing position. A couple steps, switch sides, stretch and reach, and about 10 reps per side here as well. Next is a lateral lunge, and we want to place a special emphasis here on stretching the adductors or groin, which play a big role in jiu-jitsu and are a common area for injury. So you can see Coach Sterner is going to